Hey friends, how's it going? Welcome back. We're out here in the old time cave on a Thursday, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day outside. It is absolutely amazing. It is just 75 degrees, crystal clear, and sunny. Yeah, it's actually a remarkable day. I mean, this is kind of Golden State ideal. I mean, it's fall, but it's still 75 degrees. It's been chilly. It's getting a little chilly at night, and I do use the term chilly loosely, in the 50s at night, and that's fine. I actually sleep better when it's a little cooler than when it's warmer. If I had my druthers, it would be much cooler and a little more weather, but hey, you know what? It's beautiful. I'm not going to lie. It is a beautiful day out there, and I'm going to be getting out there to run some errands and experience it a bit. But anyhow, as you can see from the title card or the thumbnail, that we have some more hams to deal with. We have some more CT Ham lanterns. Now we have this beautiful number 2. This is a beautiful number 2 that I recently acquired from another collector who's not too far away. And some of you might know who that is, but I'm not going to disclose him. You know, I respect his privacy. But he showed me 2 lanterns, and he wanted to sell them as a pair. And I says, well, that's fair. So I had another CT Ham number 2, identical to this, and I sold it recently because this one was coming to me eventually. This has the rare rolled beaded chimney or baffle. See that? Yeah. Most aren't like that. And I'll show you. I have another ham right here. Here's another one. This is from about 1907. See? No rolled beaded chimney. And even my pin lift ham, Cold Blast, doesn't have that either. Now, it's up there. I won't bring it down right yet. But anyhow, it doesn't have that bead. So that was a very brief time that CT Ham added that little rolled bead in the baffle or the chimney. So it's kind of cool. I like it. I'm not going to lie. I think it's a really neat detail. And the collector I acquired these from likes that detail as well. But I picked these up last night from his house, and we visited and had a wonderful time for about an hour or so, and it was a good time. It was a good visit. But I was able to pick these up, and these are really nice. And as found, pretty much, there is a little bit of rust, not just patina, but there is some rust right on the back here. See that? On the skirt. So at some point in time, I'm going to do a little WD-40, a little Scotch pad, and take care of that. Because I think that's not very nice. That does look kind of cancerish, so I want to take care of that. Now, we've had this discussion, and there's kind of some misunderstanding about where I stand on certain things. Maybe it's not that big of a deal, but I do want to address it. But let's test this thing out before we get into that conversation, and we'll let this burn and warm up while we talk about some things I think should be addressed. Anyways, let's do this here. Now, I did leak test it, and it holds fuel, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so let's burn this little guy here. Yeah. There. Was this locked? No. That now. Okay, now it's locked. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh, this looks like it's going to be a happy one here. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's not a bad flame. I have it low right now just so it will warm up. But that's not a bad looking flame right out of the gate, right? No, it's not. It came with this nice CNX globe. That's pretty nice. Not bad. Made in the USA. I do have a matchless CT Ham globe. It's a little later than this period, but I might put it in there just for fun. But that is a nice globe. That's what it came with from my friend. But I'll leave it in there for now. It looks great, I think. Right? Anyway, so rust. talk about rust. Let's talk about patina. Let's talk about original finishes on these old lanterns. Let me get this going and we'll have our conversation. I know, roadblock after hurdle, and I know. That match didn't last as long as I wished. Let's relight it. What are you doing, Rob? You're killing us. I know. All right. Here we go. That's so funny. You hear that pop? I did. That's my acetone can. Well, that's really proving to be quite a nice little burner there. Isn't that? Yeah, it's going to be a really nice lantern. Not bad. Anyways, rust. Let's talk about rust and age and oxidation just briefly. Now, you know, I have a thing for rust, or patina as we call it, or oxidation and age, and the finishes that these lanterns kind of acquire over 100+ years. Now, let's see here. We have one right here. We have an example. This is a Burger fail lift. And I've done nothing to this lantern. It's exactly how I got it. Now you can see the fount is pitted, okay? It's got, you know, some smooth rust up here and dirt. It's not in imminent danger. It's fine. It's pretty much arrested decay. It's not going to fail. It's not going to progress. It's fine. It stays indoors and it's not outside. It's not going to rust away. Back up. But anyways, this is actually a very fine example of arrested decay, in my opinion. Now, if I was to clean this thing, it would just be a pitted mess. It would look like a plucked chicken, as I've said before. So that thing it's safe. It's not going to progress. Now we have, say, another one that has what we call aged patina, and this is the D-light. Has kind of that dark brownish patina, a little bit of surface rust on the smoke bell, but nothing chronic or dangerous, you know. And we also have this side lift tubular, which is a prime example of age or patina. I mean, that is just, I mean, that really does it, right? It's got a little shine to it. I've done nothing to this lantern. It's exactly how it was when I bought it, when I acquired it. Yeah, of course, it's got the fun stuff underneath there, but this is not rust, okay? It's just age, darkened tin, because tin will oxidize and darken over time. It will, and it does, okay? Now, with this kind of rust, that could be problematic. It could be kind of cancerous. It's just surface rust. It's probably not in danger, but it's something that's kind of rough, and the rest of the lantern is smooth and has a nice patina to it. So it's something that I will want to address. Now, let's say, for instance, this one. This Burger made OVB, or Embry made OVB, but you can see that it has surface rust and distress to it. And if I cleaned the rust off of the smoke bell, the chimney, it would probably be pitted. It looks kind of pitted as it is, so it wouldn't be very smooth. And I'm not the type of person to remove rust when it's already started to pit, because then it just, you know, it looks like, I don't know, like a plucked chicken in my opinion, or a shaved animal. It just looks weird. So that is not that is not in any danger of being rusted away and, you know, not being around for another 100 years. since it's inside, usually rust. I'm not a scientist or an expert on decay or things like that, but I know that I've experienced that if a piece of metal that's bare and it starts showing some signs of rust, if I keep it indoors, it stops. It doesn't progress. If it's outside in the elements and the moisture or temperature changes, then it will slowly gain traction and slowly over time consume the hey, how's it going, man? Good. It will slowly consume the metal. And I have an example of a lantern that was sitting on the ground in a basement, a damp basement, that a friend gave me, an ex-coworker. They retired, but they gave me this wonderful old Deed Streamline number 100 that's marked for the city of Los Angeles, and they found it in a basement that was damp, and it was sitting on the ground, and it rusted the fount out, and the rest of it's kind of rusty too. But it you know, it's a gift, and it hangs in here as just kind of a rusty relic, and it's never going to burn again. That's fine. There's many that do, but it's neat. But the whole entire bottom is just roached out, gone. So with that being said, if you leave metal items on the ground, that will also attract decay and rust. If you hang them up, as I do, no, especially indoors in a dry climate. Now, if I was in the south or where humidity is a lot more apparent, when you just have air that is 60 to 80% humidity in general, out here in the garage, it probably would rust. I would definitely see rust. So you would have to have a climate-controlled garage for that not to happen. Now, if you have your collection in your house and it's climate-controlled and you live in a high humidity climate, then you're going to be fine. But out here in California, it's very dry traditionally. This year's been a little more moist and damp than in history, but it's very dry now. We've had Santa Ana wind events, and it's been very, very dry, which is great because that means less rust. But anyways, yeah, so if you see something that's really rusty, just kind of look at it. Let it tell you if it wants to be cleaned or not. So you will be able to decide if you want to clean it, either to any extent or maybe a gentle cleaning, just by looking at it. And I would say that if you see any potential signs of pitting, you might as well just do a gentle clean, and it will look better in the long run. At least in my opinion, it will. Than completely removing all the rust, because if you remove all the rust, you're going to just be left with what's left of the metal, and it might not be as satisfying, because like I said, when you treat something with a little WD-40 or some other oils, essential oils, it will stop the rust, and it won't progress. That's why some people just paint these things. If they start rusting, they just paint over the rust, and it will actually stop the rust from progressing. It's kind of funny how that works. But if it's left outside, then the rust will eventually gain foothold again and rust through the paint, and it's curtains. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with that. But this, I definitely will do a little minor cleaning with my magical little green Scotch pad and some WD-40, just very minor, and just wipe it down a little bit, and that's all she'll get. But I'm really happy to report that this is holding fuel perfectly, and it is burning perfectly. Now, this is a number 2, and a lot of people out there, myself included until recently, didn't know there was another size of cold blast that CT Ham offered. No. Didn't know this until actually this year. Do you see that? That annoys me to no end. Flies. I'm burning kerosene. I'm burning this. I have a fresh shirt. It smells nice. It smells brand new still. And I just got out of the shower, and I don't smell at all. I promise you. I know you will never know because you're out there on YouTube land, and we're not close proximity, but I swear on a stack of Bibles. Why do flies come in here? There's nothing organic or rotting or anything. Why do they come in here? I don't know. I guess asking the reason why flies do anything is really a futile effort. I mean, why do we collect lanterns? Why do we do anything? Anyways, tangent averted, sort of. Well, we're going to move this nice number 2 Ham Cold Blast over here. And we're going to bring up to the bench the rarer one, the Anomaly. But it's coming to my attention that they're not exactly extremely rare, but I would say they're more unknown than rare, because ever since I learned about these, I've seen more surface, and I'm kind of really enjoying the idea that I have one now, because, well, I'll just show you. That's right, friends. It's another CT ham. Sorry. CT ham. It's obvious that it's a ham, but you see it's a little smaller than the number 2. Yeah. Yes. Well, let me put them perfectly parallel. See? No angles. Number 2, and that's right, number 1. That's a number 1. Number 1 CT Ham Cold Blast. Now, number 1 just means that it's essentially a number 2, but as you can tell with the manifolds, one is bigger, one is smaller. That means that has a number 2 burner, and this has a number 1 burner, like many hot blast lanterns of that era. So it has a number 1 5/8 inch wick size burner, and it's pretty much just like, I guess you could say, a CT Ham Triple S or Clipper, but just with a cold blast baffle and chimney contraption on top and in crown. That's really the only thing that sets it apart from a Clipper or a Triple S or other CT Ham hot blast models, is the junk on top here, the business end. But it's pretty cool. It's easily late 1890s as well as this. That's my estimate, that's my guess, that it's about mid to late 1890s. I would have to definitely do some more digging and find out where these fit in. If anyone has a late 1890s catalog that you can see that has this little rolled beaded chimney in the illustrations, then by all means do share. You should have my email. I've left it in the description field a couple times. But anyways, I would love to see any catalog images of CT Ham 1890s stuff. I know there's one 1896 catalog available on the Tubular Lantern group in PDF form, but that's 96. And that's a great resource. It really is. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not other years that would be able to find this, because I looked through it and these beaded chimneys are not in the 96 catalog. They might be in the 97 or 98 catalog. Who knows? Or the 1900 catalog. It's anyone's guess. It's not that important, but you know, it's anyone's guess. Does this burn? Does it hold fuel? I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I was more concerned about the number 2, because when I was inspecting it this morning, before I decided to make a video, I was thinking that it might be leaking. It might not be oil tight. So I just decided to try it out, and I was pleasantly surprised. But anyway, let's add some oil to this. There is a wick in it. It did come with a wick. And she's got a wick. Yeah, she's got a wick. And let's see here. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Ooh, it sounds kind of rusty inside. Well, let's do some little maintenance here, shall we? Let's remove this beautiful globe. It's got a nice amethyst tint to it. You can kind of see it a little bit in the video, right? Yeah. We're always a fan of the amethyst tint. I know I am, for sure. For sure. Well, while I tinker with this, might as well enjoy myself. Might as well enjoy it. Good box. There you go. All right. Okay, we got a little bit of a wick. Not much, but enough. Yeah, sorry. Looks good on the outside, but the inside does look a little rough. It does. Here. You hear that? Yeah. You hear that, I'm sure. Hot rods. All right. Ooh. Ooh. It was like confetti falling out here. Wow, that looks like some old varnish. There was a lot in there. I should have had that on camera. It just poured out like Happy New Year, you know? All right, well, you know, give me a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna grab my acetone. You know, the can that just keeps popping, expanding with the oil, the temperature change out here. Yeah, well, the cabinet kind of sits close to the garage door and it's in the sun, so it's just going to expand with the temperature changes. It's probably not a safe place to keep it. So let me, there we go. There, now it collapsed back in. Yeah, so let's get a funnel. I have a funnel. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. There's my funnel. There's my funnel. All right. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Okay. Just roll that around. Well, it's holding the acetone. No leaks there. It'll be clean. Now this will get some attention from me. There is some rust underneath the glow plate. You know, some just little subtle things. Nothing crazy. Nothing chronic. Nothing that's going to consume the lantern and leave it just as an empty husk with some brass parts left behind. But, you know. Let me dump this out here. Give me a second. Dump it out here on the old oil drip pan here. That will clean it. That'll be a good thing for it. Yeah. All right. Well, it looked pretty clean. It didn't look too dirty. But it's always good to rinse your fountain out if it's had a lot of particulate and crap in it, just with some acetone, because that will pave the path for clean fuel and a clean burn and a better smelling burn. That's something that a lot of us don't really understand sometimes. That if you have a dirty fount, a dirty burner, maybe even a dirty chimney, your kerosene is going to smell a little more potent than you would expect. And because a lot of guys out there, I've seen the questions dogpile on the group about what's the cleanest burning fuel for these that doesn't smell, that you can burn safely indoors, that you won't smell. Well, these are designed as kerosene burners. And there's, of course, other lamp oils out there that are more or less highly refined or more paraffin-based, which would be a wax or paraffin wax-based oil, and they can burn very clean. I know Sterno offers one that's very clean burning, and I think it has a high freeze point, so it's not going to clog your wicks as much as maybe others would. But the paraffin stuff can be expensive because it's highly refined, and it's ideal for restaurateurs because they use those little, oil candle things on their tables at very fine restaurants. But anyhow, some of the other people I've known, including the great late Bob, the lantern guy, he used the Sterno lamp oil. It was for those little restaurant candles, table candles. And he used it with great success. He loved it, and he had no complaints about it, and he actually preferred it because you couldn't smell it. But he never said anything about it clogging your wick over time. But I know there are paraffin wax varieties out there that will, over time, clog your wicks and not allow it to draw properly. I have a friend in Highland Park that uses another paraffin oil that has... Sorry, my phone's buzzing. Leave that alone. So I totally lost my train of thought. Distractions. Anyways, paraffin. Yeah, so he uses paraffin, and but all his lanterns burn very poorly, and he wonders why they're burning poorly. Is because I was like, well, you're using paraffin and not kerosene. So that's the only complaint I have about a friend. That's actually not that bad. Everything else, he's a wonderful person, but he just doesn't listen to me. I'm the authority. I know what I'm doing. Anyways, not everyone's perfect. The famous words of Joey Brown. Well, nobody's perfect, you know. For some like it hot, remember? Last scene of the movie. Anyways, there's still some crud in there. I see some roughness, some rusty roughness. I see it's just the temperature's changing and it's expanding that can again. I should get a better can for that acetone instead of the one that I got from the hardware store, or the one that came in. I should get another galvanized can and pour acetone in that. It might be better. It's a little stronger, and it might be better. I don't know. Well, anyways, was that dry? Yeah, it dries very quickly. It evaporates very fast, and we like that. Oh, we do. We like that a lot. So let me grab, speaking of oil, this is a nice full can of oil. Ooh, nice full can of oil. That reminds me, I'm going to have some company out here tonight, and I'm going to have to fuel up some lanterns and maybe some road torches and, you know, have myself a little fun time tonight. So let's get that going. Oh, yeah. I like this can. I got this here in Monrovia at an estate sale for a shocking price of $10. And it's an early one. Still has remnants of the old label on it. I should do a video just about oil cans, shouldn't I? I would like to. I actually should do that. Yeah. Anyways. It is genuinely a kerosene can because it has blue, aged dark blue paint on the top and bottom of it, and that would indicate kerosene. Now, if you found a new old stock gasoline can, there's no reason why you can't use a gasoline can if it's got red paint on it to indicate gasoline. But I wouldn't, because somebody might pick it up thinking it's gasoline and there's actually kerosene in it. And that would be bad. If you ran out of gas and someone grabbed it thinking there's gasoline in it and they don't know, and they pour kerosene into your car or lawnmower or other lawn equipment that runs off of gasoline, it could definitely not bode very well. So yeah. Anyways, there's a wick in there. It's not very long, but it should be long enough to test this. It is an old wick, but this is a beautiful globe. It's just marked. What is it marked? CV11. So C7. That's Roman numerals. Yeah. See, when I try to speak too fast, it really fouls me up. Tongue runs away from me sometimes. Anyways, there we go. There we go. Yes. I'll let that soak it up for a minute, and we'll pick up my old crutch here. Now, this is a good box. I'm just enjoying some Peter Stokkebye luxury Navy flake, I think. Virginian flake. That's what it is. Virginian. Yep, Virginian. But anyways, this thing is burning very well, and it's got kind of a mouth-looking flame on there. It's kind of, you know, Joan Crawford lip type of thing going on here. Very, very cool. I like it. I might trim the wick a little bit. It might be a little uneven, but anyways, that thing is a Performer Deluxe. But yeah. Yeah, I usually have some friends out here every week. Well, not every week, but most weeks. And we'll light some lanterns and set up a little card table and just sit out here, and you know, I'll have a smoke or whatever, and we'll just have some treats and just have some nice time, you know. I love having this space to entertain with because it is interesting. There's a lot of fun Sorry about that. My camera decided to sabotage my video and just say, well, the card's full, so sorry, you're out of luck. That does happen. Jeez, so much. I forget how long my arms are. They're long, and I have elbows, and things are closer than I think they are. But anyways, I bump things. Nothing too major, but, you know. Anyways, it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Anyways, as I was saying, I have friends out here, and I have a very nice environment that I've created in the time cave, and that's why it's kind of like I was saying, why I call it a time cave. People say, well, that's a nice man cave, because it's all manly stuff out here for the most part. I say, well, okay, fair, got it, but it's not just a man cave. I've created a garage that time has forgotten. And that's been my goal. And sometimes people come out here and they say, they just stand here and they smell the garage because there's a drip pan that catches the oil from the Dodge. They all leak. I don't care what anyone says. Those cars, no matter how hard you try to make them not leak, they're going to leak a little bit. It's just the nature of the beast. Anyway, they'll stand here and just take in a whiff. They'll just let the environment of the smell of the old stuff and the oil and the smell, a little hint of gasoline from the car, and they just say, you know, this reminds me of my grandfather's garage or my father's garage. You know, it reminds them of a garage that they are familiar with from their childhood or their youth. And for me, that is very special because I like people. Stupid can expanding it. I like people having nostalgia about their past. I like them being reminded of something that they've probably forgotten. I know smells and sounds can be very powerful things about nostalgia and reminding us of our earlier days. And, you know, that's another thing about pipe smokers or pipe smoke in general. It does jog. It's a pleasant thing. It's something a lot of people say, oh, my grandfather smoked a pipe or my father smoked a pipe. Oh, I remember liking the smell of that. Oh, that's really nice. You know, it's more or less a very pleasant type of thing that people remember fondly. And especially old car, when people see me at a gas station, sometimes they'll approach me and say, oh, I came to California in a car like that. You know, they're usually in their 70s, 80s. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was a kid back in the 40s, and you know, my parents moved from New York, and we came to California in a car very similar to that, and they'll share some memories and stories, and I really like that. I really, really like that. And you know, I've done some service, you know, charitable service work at some retirement homes in my life, and I've brought some of my antiques with me, and the residents there love seeing that stuff. Or I'll bring some music and play it for them, and they just, like, their eyes light up. It's like, whoa, I'm tapping into something that they remember when they were my age at the time. And they love sharing that. They love reliving that because that was their best time. They were in their 20s. They were in their prime of their life in that era. There's really no reason why they shouldn't enjoy it still. And then, you know, music's a powerful thing, and memory's a powerful thing, and it's something that should be exercised. That's true. And to see people light up and bring a smile to their face because they remember some good times. I'm sure there was bad times too in that era, and every era has their pluses and minuses, but to see them spark up and just like, man, that was my time, and they kind of relish it sometimes, and it's great. I love doing that. So that's why I enjoy having people here, because it's nostalgic and they feel comfortable, and it's a very inviting situation here with some of my close friends. But anyways, that's why I call it a time cave. It's not because it's, you know, well, we spend good time in it. It's also frozen in time, so there's a lot of things to do with time that's related to it, as you have seen in most of my videos. But anyway, that's a nice sidetrack, right? I think so. Anyway, we should be ready to fire this little guy up. The Ham No.1, the No.1 Cold Blast. Yeah. No.1 Cold Blast. All right. Waste not, want not. Well, I will need to trim that wick, but burned. It's not ghosting or smoking, just burning a little wonky. But we'll turn that down because I don't want to have too much heat on one side of the globe than the other, because that will run the risk of cracking your globe. That's true. As I was saying about the No.1 lanterns, I once had a No.1 Dietz Blizzard from about 1900, give or take. I no longer, I moved it on to another collector who was very interested in it, and he has it now, and he loves it, and that's great. It was a little too clean for my taste. I'll admit it. I've become a little more favorable of this original rusty or patina. This is not technically rusty, it's just dark aged patina, which is my favorite because I like the dark metal with, you could see the solder, and you know, I have my reasons, and some of them are your reasons too, but I like things that are not cleaned or bright and shiny and everything. I have some that are, and I love them. I appreciate them. I have room for both styles, and I bought them that way. So there you go. Yeah. But there we go. No.1, No.2, Cold Blast, CT Ham, late 90s, give or take. Cold Blast lanterns, and they're just beautiful, great old-fashioned tools, and they make a beautiful light, and I like them. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I like them. Let me trim this wick. It's being a little pesky here. Sorry. And I have a trimmer, sort of. There we go. This should be all right. All right, here. Give me a brief moment here, and I'll trim this wick while it's still smoking. Nice and flat. There. Okay. It should do. It should do. It should do. Now, let's see. Ha! I need a push this down. Okay. All right. Okay. Ready to rock. Ready to rock. Ah, better. That's better. That's what we need. Yep. Golf clap. All right, well, there we go. I think we have success. So now, you friends out there, we have two beautiful Cold Blast lanterns made by CT Ham Manufacturing out of Rochester, New York. And I like them. I like them. Now that means, you know, of course, something's going to have to leave when a lantern comes, or in this case, two lanterns come into the collection. I'll have to let go of something else. Yeah. So stay tuned. I'll be offering something once I muster up the strength to let go of something. Then I'll be offering something for sale, if not two things for sale. And I know. I got stuff. But we'll select a victim and offer it on the channel next week. But if you are on Facebook, definitely keep your eyes peeled on the Two Builder Lantern group, and I will be offering something from on there as well. So, without further ado, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy something, nice lanterns, whatever you find enjoyable. All right, cool. We'll be back next week with some more content and more conversations about tubular lanterns. All right. Thanks again for tuning in and watching and supporting the channel. We're at over 930 subscribers now, which is kind of exciting. So keep it going. I love to see the channel grow. I do. All right, guys. Take it easy, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.